Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We want to
Woo!
welcome everybody here to the Cow Barn, downtown Casterville, USA.
In the USA, it's a Chevrolet. Oh,
Guys, we got a show that's crazy today.
It's crazy today.
I just gave a hint. Did you hear my hint? In the USA, in your Chevrolet. That was his, like, when he was doing the Chevy thing back
That's
then. That
Dinosaur.
Before Dinosaur.
We have Dinosaur?
Pat Boone.
Before Dinosaur, Pat Boone sang that.
Yeah, Pat Boone was.
I didn't know Pat did that.
He had a whole TV variety
Pat
show, the Chevy Showroom or something like that,
Boone.
because of that connection to Chevrolet.
He was the youngest person to ever host a TV show, and it was called the Pat Boone Chevy Showroom.
Yep,
Okay.
Chevy Showroom.
See, I was
yes.
very young, you guys. Very young over here.
Yeah. Oh God, Susan.
Aw. I might not have even been born.
Oh no! As he was growing up, he was a very much a TV presence for us with the shows, the variety shows, and the musical shows and stuff. You know, I mean, the TV specials came later after us.
But y'all guys, you got to admit, we watched a lot of family musical TV shows when we were coming up before we were famous.
Yeah,
And
oh,
I
yeah.
remember sitting watching them all. And I've sometimes thought, are these all part of our family too? Because they sing also.
That's true.
You know
But I
what,
mean,
you
the
guys,
King
I think-
family, remember?
Yeah, I think Pat Boone, though, you guys, was the first Tony Bennett. You know, kind of like here we are. You know, we're in the twilight of our careers, but we want to keep on going and keep on going.
Right.
And you know, younger
Oh,
people
yes.
think, oh, well, Tony Bennett, he's our mark. But our mark is Pat Boone
Yes.
because he's the guy we want to like.
Right, because he's here today.
Still going.
And people-
Yeah, he's really going.
Let's just cover some stats for the folks because we're not going to, in the interview, start dealing with, hey,
Yeah,
how
do
many
it.
million records did you sell?
I know.
And
Plus,
by the
I
way,
think they're on limited time, you guys. We're very lucky.
limited time.
Go ahead,
Pat's
Bob.
got another meeting. He's a big dude, okay? Hey, and
He is a big
bonus
dude.
in the announcement, a bonus. Debbie Boone is also going to be with us. So we've got the dad and the daughter, the musical. This is our
Holy
first
cow, I'm so
musical
excited.
family meeting with another musical family because we want to get the Osmonds and the Jacksons,
You're right.
the Francos, all the musical, the Lennons, you know, we want them all. And this is the first. The Boones is
Yep.
our
The
first venture.
DeFrancos, you guys.
Sure.
Tony.
Francos, it'll be
To
good.
the heartbeat. We love this stuff, man.
Heartbeat, and when we
Does
meet-
Pat
love
Boone
it.
have a star on the Walk of Fame? Of course.
Yes, we've got 3.
3
Come on.
TV, music, and movies.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yep.
You know? TV, music, and movie. 45 million records sold, this guy. 45 million. And Debbie probably had 50 million. What do we know? Just with You Light Up My Life.
Yeah.
And I even heard that he was like, it was Elvis, Pat, Elvis, neck and neck. Who don't know? Elvis is up and no, Pat's coming up, right? Is that not right?
Pat was Elvis opened up for Pat. Pat had 3 hit singles out at the same time, and Elvis didn't even have a record yet.
Again, I just cite the fact that I'm the youngest in this family.
I wonder if he had to give this young upstart permission to be opening for him. You know, we got to find
Yeah.
out about this.
I want to know about that
Man.
really bad.
Yep, that would be fun to ask him about. That would be fun.
You know,
Can you imagine like Elvis open, like you saw Elvis the first time because he was your opener? Whoa.
I know.
What are you thinking? We'll find out.
Yeah.
And then Debbie, his daughter Deb, is going to be with us too. Holy cow there.
So you guys, you know, we look up everything on our guests. This was like a bad homework assignment. It was so
Oh
overwhelming.
my God, I'm going to do a thesis on the Boones, I
We
swear.
were cramming. We're cramming Boone information.
And there's a lot because they're very gifted and they've been like all around forever, as you were saying.
I pulled up Pat and I looked, I said, that is too much. I'm going to go to Debbie. I pulled up Debbie. It was as much as Pat. I went back to Pat. Oh my goodness.
Imagine if we got the other girls. I'm sure they've been busy too, doing whatever. It's thank gosh it's only 2, right?
Well, you know, we should,
2 Boones.
2 Boones. That's
Well,
right.
no, that we're talking to today. Huh?
Oh yeah, we're talking to.
I'm
Yeah.
saying, what if we had them too to research? We'd be out of our minds.
Dude, it'd be awesome.
So many great stories.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, so they're coming up. They're going to pop in any minute, and it's going to be so exciting. But in the meantime, hey, remember the Happy Together Tour, July 28th to August 31st. We are so excited
Unreal.
to get out there.
Finally.
Yes.
I'm a little nervous about the first night, opening my mouth, singing. I'm going to have to start singing in the car. What are you guys doing? Are you singing in the car? How are you doing this?
I'm doing this breathing meditation I started, and I'm a little dizzy right now from it. I started it to increase, just start getting those lungs going.
Okay. Okay.
I'll tell you what I've been doing. I actually put the tape on, and I have been singing, as loud and as forceful as I know I do.
Your brother Russ said you were.
But I'll tell you what, I think maybe it was Nuclear Winter. I forget what I was singing, but man, I was plumb out of breath.
Oh, yeah. Right? When you told Bill Medley that, he said, you're going to pass out. I said, that's not a good sign. We got to have stamina.
No, it's not.
Because you know what, people, you think, oh, what are you complaining about? You do 4 or 5 songs. You put 2 hours concert energy into the 4 songs. Okay. I don't know how else to say it.
And not only that, you guys, in a 2-hour concert, you are working up to that moment. We come out on 11. And that's like, okay, hold on now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And listen, guys, as far as fashion goes this year, I'm going to have maybe a hazmat. What do you think?
Hazmat.
No.
A hazmat.
The big hooded.
Yeah, I know what it is.
When I thought we were going out last summer, I said to the bosses, I'll come out. But I'm going to be I'm going to be wearing protective gear, and that'll be my outfit. And I think it could be quite fashionable.
Well, I've gotten so accustomed to wearing one thing for a year. I'm only bringing out one thing on that tour. I'm down with that policy.
That's what you said last cast, dude.
Because it simplified my life.
Well, I got to tell you something. I'm down to one thing too, and I'm just wearing the mask. No other clothes, no nothing.
Okay, well, I want to ask our casters, when you guys come out to the Happy Together, are you wearing just one thing? Please let us know. Write to us.
You mean a onesie?
Yeah.
What are you talking
yes, Happy
about?
Together attendees, are you going to be wearing onesies at the concert this summer? Please get to us. And that is how telephone happens, folks.
And and also look for the Time Life infomercial. Now,
Time
I'm not
Life.
saying we're nervous about that, but here's how these roll, you guys. We show up. Okay, action. We recite our 4 lines. Cut.
Action.
Okay, next 3 lines. Action. Cut. If we do that 25 times in a day, and that's their show, and now they're going to go make the show, we have no idea.
Yeah, but Bob just kind of gave a simple term of that, because they go, okay, do your lines. And we do our lines. They go, a little less excitement. Oh, okay. So Paul says, well, get rid of your exclamation marks, and we give it a little less excitement. Then Brian goes, a little more excitement. And Paul goes, okay, we'll give you. So it goes like that, which takes even longer. But eventually we became pros. What?
Yeah. And the other thing is that if they would have played, the last part of the last song of that segment and gone into us, it would have probably been a little bit smoother for us, having some context.
Yeah,
for sure.
Wow, there, we just heard it.
I think they should have let us sing into every single segment. We would have been phenomenal.
I think they should have just let us freeform the whole thing. How do you like that?
Yeah. Actually, I think Alan did a wonderful job. They scripted us. It's hilarious. You guys are going to love it. We already talked about this. Obviously, we're quite excited.
Well, we have to promote. It's coming,
and we're promoting. I forget about promoting. What about that Rhythm of the World record? When is it ever coming out, you guys?
Well, you know what? I just feel early 2022. I don't know why.
Holy telepathy. That's going to get some cards and letters coming in, bucko.
Well, anything could trigger acceleration. And we know this. But if we got to package it. We got to, the whole thing, the record company, all of the logistics now that the music's done. The hard part's done. But I think the hard part's actually begun. So we'll see what happens.
I'm just saying. And then the other thing?
I don't know.
Do you know that all the actors and actresses from Friends still make $20 million a year off of that show?
And is that to make us feel better about our upcoming release or nervous? Or I can't believe that kind of thing.
Because before Paul said that, I started to think, and I have been for quite a while, what with our new life as casters here in Casterville from the Kyle Barn, that we might very well have a television talk show career in front of us, boys. I'm just putting it out there. I think it'd be fun. I think we're fun. I think a major network should pick these kids up. That's all.
Is there a major network anymore?
I don't know.
Okay, well, if you find one, will you let me know who it is?
Yes.
But there are major ad companies.
Oh, ad companies. That's what I meant.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I see a big, bright, great, big, beautiful tomorrow, kids.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so we covered that. We covered no meet and greets on the Happy Together tour. We want to make sure that word gets out,
so
people don't
talk about that. No.
We don't want to be yelled at through the bus windows.
No, I don't want to even know about it.
Yeah.
I want to discuss the regime we're going to have on the bus. You're not going to like it this year. It's not going to be all randy-pandy, everybody on, everybody off, running pell-mell through all the little stores in the middle of the night. There's going to be some hand washing. There's going to be a lot more crackdown. I just want all the happy.
Do you know if we have to wear a mask on the bus? I wonder.
No. Well, God knows.
But were you told that, or you don't know?
No, not yet. No, this is me. I'm saying all this. I'm the boss of this.
I think I'll wear my "I'm vaccinated" T-shirt all summer and just calm everyone down before they even reach me.
Put your card on a laminate. Put your card in one of those.
Or put the card on a laminate. Yeah.
Card on a
It looks like
laminate.
a backstage pass, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Pretty
and
good.
just make sure you get it in one that doesn't stick to it, because we might need a booster down the line. So you want to be able to take it up out of that piece of plastic.
Paulie, I know my brother Paul has been chomping at the bit to start this thing off because he's got this thing.
We want to go.
So are you ready, Mr. Boone?
Am I ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up ready.
Ready?
Okay. And you look ready. You sound 20 years old, Pat. I got to tell you. And I got to tell you, next time we do a tub commercial, you got to let people know not to open that door while the water's in the tub. Because
do you know what this gal, what's her name, Debbie, the black comedian?
Yeah, I sent you that video.
What is it?
Oh gosh, she's from Saturday Night Live, and now I'm just drawing a blank on her
I know
name.
who you mean, though. Yeah.
Were you honored on Saturday Night Live, Pat?
Not on the show, but in her social media.
Her whatever that you call it, her Facebook or whatever.
Oh my.
Yeah.
And no, it was. It's not that. It's
Snapchat.
Or TikTok, or one of them. Who knows? I thought it was Instagram, but
You know,
All right.
even there, Pat, is inspirational. We don't pursue those things as older people. It's crazy. All right, Paul, hit it.
Okay.
She was kidding if you brought it
She
up.
was just kidding.
Yeah, but then I answered her and told her the thing was that all you had to do was get in, to close the door, turn on the water, fill it up to your shoulders, turn on the jacuzzis, which would help her in many ways, up to her. And that when she finished, she could get out, dry off, and then turn the shower head up, face her, and it could wash out her mouth too.
Oh, is that what you sent back?
Yeah.
Jones, is that who I mean?
Yeah, Leslie Jones.
That is.
All right, sir, you are far more than a bathtub promoter. Paul Cowsill, please honor our guest.
I guess my first question is, how did you get into Centennial Park? I mean, that was the first time.
Yeah, you mean I was discovery of the week in Centennial Park, and you're talking my high school days now. I just barely out of high school.
I want to know how you got to be Pat Boone.
Well, I was singing around town, and I was known as the kid out there on Lone Oak Road at David Lipscomb High who knew all the current pop songs, and had a lady that would accompany me on the piano, Ruth Mowry, her name, and neither of us charged anything. We'd come sing for you, Lady Shakespeare clubs and men's, the various Junior Chamber of Commerce or Elks or whatever the clubs were. Yeah, get that kid from out on Lone Oak Road. He'll come sing current pop songs with his piano teacher. Well, she's the teacher, but I was not her student. And he'll do it for nothing. You don't even have to feed him.
Oh, great.
How old were you before Centennial Park? One day you woke up as a young boy and thought, I can sing songs. It wasn't the day before. How did that? What did you hear? And I know you were into the R&B of that. You're kind of like you're going to become the Johnny Rivers of that generation and do these Motown songs.
That was later. I didn't know anything about that.
No, but as a young boy, are you in a choir? What are you?
Okay, no, my brother Nick and I, he's a year younger, and my mom played the ukulele. Didn't know what they were, but she could play them. And we could make them fit anything, any song. And my brother and I would sing in our family gatherings. I mean, our family, grandparents, uncles, aunts, we all came together and we would sing together. And then Nick and I would do a song or two that we might have worked on a little bit. Gonna take a sentimental journey. Gonna set my heart at ease. I would sing harmony, he'd sing melody, or vice versa. and Mama playing the ukulele, and people loved it. So when I'm now in the 8th grade, maybe freshman in high school, whenever there was a need for somebody or a desire for somebody to sing a song, I would raise my hand because I could sing. I mean, I was not looking for it as a career because I thought that was impossible. But I would sing, on the occasion if I was asked. So I got to be asked more and more. I did some local TV, and then they made me the Discovery of the Week, which was a big deal. I mean, the newspapers.
That's like American Idol.
Yeah, but it was local. However, I did win a contest one night. It was at the East High School. Got to keep it straight. And it was a talent show, and the first prize was a trip to New York and an audition.
Holy cow!
Amateur hour, not necessarily getting on the Ted Mac. Do you remember the Ted Mac?
Do we? Of course.
They turned
and
us
the
down.
singing plumber from Ohio.
Yeah, they had turned me down too when I auditioned in Nashville. But this was the first prize. Now I didn't expect to win because I was entering talent shows around town, and I always came in second to a piano player or a violinist, a tap dancer, a trumpet, somebody that obviously had taken lessons to do something. And I could just get up and sing a pop song. Well, anybody could do that. And so I would usually come in second. And I understood because somebody had really paid a lot of money for the lessons. And that night when I sang on the East High School talent show, I couldn't make up my mind whether to sing a ballad or a pop song, a rock, a rhythmic song, not R&B. So I put together one of each and a medley. We ain't got a barrel of money side by side
Oh
into
my goodness!
I believe for every drop of rain that falls.
No, you did
We know
not.
all these songs. This is
No,
great.
you didn't. You mashed up those two.
We competed also in a show like that and lost to a clown. So you've done way better than us. And Debbie, we're not going to ignore you. We know you're there, okay? But
That's okay.
are you used to it? I mean, so
Let
Pat's,
me just finish that. I walked out and I told Mom and Daddy I was going to come in second. And we were in the parking lot and a big crowd outside East Nashville High. So I'd sung my duet, got a nice hand. And now I walked out to the car to get in the car so we'd beat the traffic going home. And I knew that this opera singer, a girl named Shirley McGoy, was going to win. So, but now I'm out by the car and I hear this voice, Pat Boone, where are you?
Oh.
They said, come in, you've won. That's what? Won? I went in and I passed Shirley McGoy standing in the wings crying. I went to the mic and I said, look, and the people were still applauding after about 3 minutes. And I said, look, this is really nice. I appreciate this, but really, Shirley McGoy should go to New York because she's more likely to get on the Ted Mac Amateur than me. And they said, no, you're a winner. You've got to go. So I did go. And when I did get on, and then it didn't occur to me I would win. And they had to find me out in the country where I was leading singing for a gospel meeting. They had to find me from a switchboard in the town next door because I was out and nobody had phones where I was. And they had to come find me. And I went, but I had won the Ted Mac Amateur Hour. See, all of this was happening to me. I wasn't seeking it.
Right.
I didn't think it would happen.
Seeing that. Wow. You were meant to be.
You ought to find out from Debbie how in the world You Light Up My Life came about. That's one of the great music stories of all time.
well,
I
we
think
want to get to that because here's our question. Well, we're going to jump the timeline, folks, because we don't have a lot of time. But we know about the Boone Sisters. We know you're in Japan with the Osmonds and they're opening for you, Pat, and you come home with this
Jealous.
idea. You got an idea. Hey, now, Debbie, when your dad comes home from that tour and sits you guys down, tell us about, was it that cut? Hey, you girls, let's do this. What happened?
Well, all I knew at the time is that he was booked to have them be his opening act and tour Asia. And he, I think he was just really, correct me if I'm wrong, Daddy, but you were getting tired of having to leave the family behind and be gone traveling, and thought, why don't I bring, like, if the Osmond family can do this, why can't our family?
Osmonds were booked on that same tour.
Yeah.
The tour director, Tatsu Nagashima, our promoter, said, hey, do your girls sing? I said, do they sing? Of course they sing. Shirley taught them all to harmonize.
Wow.
That is awesome.
And so why don't you bring the Boone girls too? So it was the Boone family and the Osmond family on that tour. And watching the Osmonds, the family togetherness, how much fun it was, made me think, hey, I want more of this.
Mhm.
I want my Boone girls. And my next engagement was in Las Vegas in a hotel, and it became the Pat Boone family in that show. And I told the girls, look, you don't have to do every these late shows, midnight shows. You don't have to do them. You can do the 8 o'clock show unless if you just really want to. Well, of course they did. They wanted to.
Yeah.
Of course they did.
They're going to make albums. They're like not the Lennon sisters. You're your own thing. That's for sure. But it was and you're with your dad's in your band.
Yeah.
That was the opposite of us. We had our mom.
How did you receive the news you're going to be in a group with your dad?
It was first of all, I was never a big lover of school. So to get out of school to do anything was a big yes for me.
Yeah, you and Susan have that.
So it was a win-win that it was something I liked to do. And the Osmonds were so much fun. We were just, can you imagine being on tour with the Osmonds?
Can I ask a weird question right this moment, but it feels appropriate, and I'm always curious about it. So you're with the Osmonds, you guys are out there as the Boones. Do you even know who the Cowsills are?
Be honest.
I can't be honest then. I'm not sure I can really, I'm not a linear thinker. So when you were on my radar, I'm not exactly sure, but I always loved groups that could sing in great harmony, and you guys.
Well, so did we,
that.
and we tended to seek them out, and that wasn't a trick question. I'm always curious because you either were or you really weren't.
No, I definitely was a fan.
Right
always.
on.
How could you not love your?
Because we watch y'all,
Can I interject and ask you a question about the timing? Because I became aware of you guys who didn't, but I'm not aware of the timing. The Osmonds were not known when they went with me to Japan. They were just on Andy Williams' show. They were just 4 boys who could sing and a cappella, really. And that's why we brought them. We didn't even know that the whole family could sing. And we hadn't had any records. So I don't know. That was what, Debbie, would have been the years I'm trying to think.
I think 69, maybe. When you touring Japan, that's for sure. It was 69.
Okay.
Yeah.
And see, we had already been a couple of years in the making.
But you see, we're watching you and you're with your dad, and God bless you guys, because we'll be honest, when they came to us, our band, to the teenage boys that were trying to be a rock band and told us our mother was coming into our band, it's a great story now. And we had 1 million sellers as soon as she arrived. We have to say that.
I showed up.
This was not good.
Ours was the reverse. See, ours was the reverse. I already was known. And my first feature was no entertainer that I know of, no pop singer ever did, because a pop singer, if he's singing love songs, likes to promote the idea of romance with his girl fans. But if you're married and bring your 4 kids on the road with you, that pretty well kills any idea of romance. Nice. And I'm okay with that.
It's still fun for us to see all the screaming girls, though, on those tours. They didn't care that we were there.
They're probably pushing you aside.
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, let's wait. Screaming girls, Elvis comes to mind.
So Pat,
go, Paul.
Please tell us. So Elvis Presley, you've already got a few hits on the charts right now, and Elvis Presley is opening up for you.
You're almost right.
Okay, clear us up.
I only had 3 records from March of '55 when I made my first. I'm sorry, it was October of '55. I made my first record. No, wait a minute. No, that was number 4. No, it was. I'm right. The first time. I'm losing track of the time. But
I cannot believe you have the track that you have right now, sir.
I know.
October of '55. When Elvis opened for me. But since early February of that year, I had begun recording, and I only had 3 records. I had 2 Hearts, 2 Kisses by the Charms on the Dutone label. I recorded my version. Ain't That a Shame? Fats Domino. 3rd record was At My Front Door, crazy little mama come a knocking. And that was happening in October. So now I was the new guy, and I was asked by Bill Randall to come to Cleveland to headline a sock hop. And he brought this kid from Shreveport who was on the Louisiana Hayride, becoming known as a rockabilly singer.
Okay.
And he was on before me, lip syncing his one record of A Blue Moon of Kentucky, a Bill Monroe song. And the kids liked the way he looked. He looked like the guy they weren't supposed to be negotiating or communicating with.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
but then when he finished that first song, Blue Moon of Kentucky, keep on shining. Well, they liked him, but they didn't care for that. Then he said, I ain't very much like to do the other side of that record for you. And he's saying, that's all right, Mama. That's all.
We know that one.
And they loved that, but that's all he had. So they were screaming for more, but he left. Then I came in and I had the 3 hit records.
Okay.
And I got all the screams and everything that night. When I came off, he was gone. So we didn't talk for a year and a half after that.
Wow.
And then we were both renting homes in Bel Air. And I had dinner with him one night at his place. And I said, when I first met you that first night, Elvis, in Cleveland, you seemed so shy and nervous. He said, well, I didn't know how to talk to you, man. I said, wow. He said, you were a star. I said, a star? I just made 3 records since March. He said,
That's
yeah, but
great.
you're on the charts. So after that, I had the good sense never to follow Elvis. The only time I ever was on a show with Elvis, and he opened for me, or at least he went on before me.
Yeah.
And I had the good sense to take it at that and never take a chance on anything like that again.
What a story, man.
No animals, no kids, no Elvis.
Yeah.
No, the kids are going to come.
Kids.
Did you have anyone in your era back then? All right, we have the Beatles. Now the Beatles are here and everybody else is over here and you can fight for that position. You're not getting that one. We were number 2 in Billboard because Get Back is number 1 or Hello Goodbye is number 1 or Sgt. Pepper's number. Are you fighting that kind of thing or are you that guy back then? Or is Sinatra your Beatles? Are you against anybody like that where everybody else is number 2? But
Elvis and I, for the last half of the 50s, we matched each other record for record, hit for hit. I had 41 chart records in 55 through 59.
Unbelievable.
He had 40. Now, when I say chart records, they weren't all number 1s or top 10s because Randy Wood at Dot Records, soon as one of my records would peak, if it peaked at 37 and dropped to 40, boom, out came the next record. If it peaked at number 7 and dropped to number 9, boom.
Boy, look at that, how
Wow.
it was back then. Yeah.
And so
Crazy.
the record I hold in the record business is 220 consecutive weeks without ever being off the charts.
Holy
With
cow.
Elvis, that's over 4 years. And Elvis went to the Army after about 3 years, and he was off the charts. And then the Beatles, they started putting out albums after 3 years, not even singles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so Elton John is the closest that we've come up with 157 weeks without her ever being off the charts.
Wow, man.
The only reason I hold that is because of the MO, the method operandi of the Dot label. Was soon as a record peaked, out came the next, and we tried to keep the momentum going.
That's
But
crazy.
you were making
You did.
recordings. Yeah, making great recordings.
Listen, Debbie, you got to know how this record that launched her career happened because she was singing with the four.
Our question is, how does Debbie come out of how do you come out of the pack of the sisters as the one who's going to, continue and get that song, and who brings it to you?
Mike Curb is the answer to that question. He's the one that brought the song. And at that time, the Boone family was just coming to a close because my 2 older sisters were married and start families. And it just wasn't making sense at that point. So it was really perfect timing. But Mike brought over a cassette tape of the song from the movie soundtrack.
Right.
Wondering if I would be interested. I was still living at home. I was 21, by the way.
Yes, 21. We know.
I remember you.
Lived at home till they were married, including Debbie.
Awesome.
And you hear it in what?
I thought it was okay. I didn't love it. I mean, it didn't knock my socks off. But what I couldn't believe is I'd always met some resistance with my mom and dad to do my own thing, that it just didn't feel like it was the right time. And, we were a family and a girls group, and it didn't feel like the right timing. But it was the right timing. So they were kind of excited about it. And I would have sung Happy Birthday just to be able to go to a studio and do my own thing for a second.
Okay, so you had the passion, all right.
Yeah, I really wanted to do it. So I didn't know any of the backstory at the time, which is the girl that sang the vocal in the movie You Light Up My Life, because it was Dee Dee Conn was the actress in that movie. But a jingle singer named Casey Cizik was the voice on the record. And what I didn't know until I got to New York to record it with my mother, she flew with me. Okay. different time, right?
Yeah.
Different life.
Yeah. And what I didn't know is they were just going to pull Casey's voice off the track and put mine on for radio release. Oh. It was still going to be the soundtrack on the movie, but I was going to put my voice on that track for radio release. And it was because
if Joe liked you, he wasn't sure.
Oh, yeah.
He had to hear you first.
Yeah.
And you did. You went in this big studio, just him and an engineer and the soundtrack. And Debbie just stands at the microphone and opens her mouth.
And you melted Joe's heart is what you did.
She melted America's heart.
Joe didn't have one. Oh.
Right, he didn't.
No, he was so... It was, my first really, solo moment.
Yeah.
And he knew exactly what he wanted, and I had no freedom whatsoever to give him, except note for note, exactly what he wanted. So it was really stressful.
Wow.
But her mom saw she was really getting strung out about it and took her in a restroom, which she said was the filthiest restroom she'd ever seen in her life.
Nice.
And we prayed together, and she said, Debbie, just sing it the way you feel it.
Yeah.
And Debbie went out, and that was it. Joe had goosebumps.
Okay.
That was it.
Well, it's hard to find the soulful moment when you're thinking of hitting notes and giving this person what they want at the same time. I've been there. Yeah. You nailed it, and good on your mama.
So now, Debbie, you've got this huge hit. You're 10 weeks as number one on Billboard. And at the time, it was the longest record ever to be in number one.
Ever.
I mean, it just seemed like the world was yours. And so how were you reacting to all of this stuff?
Well, it completely took me off guard. We were finishing our last Boone family shows as it started climbing the charts. So we went, I guess we have to put it in the show.
Yeah.
That's when I realized I was so used to working with my sisters that I didn't know how to stand there and sing a song by myself.
Oh my gosh.
Like, what do I do with my arms?
Oh, I could never do that. I hear.
Because I was used to choreography and a group, and there was a comfort level there that I didn't have now to stand center stage. And boy, was it a learning curve and fast, because then suddenly I'm being asked to go everywhere.
Let me interject, Debbie, that the other male singers, Kenny Rogers, I'm trying to think whether it's Engelbert, Kenny Rogers, Glenn Campbell, they were all wanting Debbie to open for them to capitalize on her.
Oh my gosh.
Not knowing that she'd never done any solo work herself.
Gotcha.
So the idea grew that maybe just for a few months, because there were also offers coming in for Pat and Debbie together. And so though, I knew it was not going to last, but maybe just to let her get her show feet under her, maybe it would be good that it would be a daddy-daughter thing for just a few months, which is what did happen.
Yes, it did. Yeah. That's amazing. You're out there on tour.
Got away from me.
Now, how's mom and dad reacting to Debbie having such a big hit? I mean, this is insane, right? Are you proud? Are you nervous? What are you?
That's you, Daddy.
No, we want to know how are mom and dad reacting to all of this?
Well, we were very proud, of course, but also cautious, knowing this was new for Debbie. And really, I had not, even though I brought my 4 daughters on stage with me, I had not really wanted any of the girls to take up showbiz, quote, because I saw how treacherous it could be for young girls, especially.
Yes.
And so I was not wishing that for any of my girls. I would have much preferred it if it had been all four girls singing together, remaining as a family group. But since this was happening and Debbie had an undeniable voice and talent, that it had to happen. So we were just going to double our prayer life. Push it.
We need some extra help down here. Yeah, I hear you.
Y'all are killing me right now. You're just breaking my heart in the best ways. So, but Deb, it's 1977, and you're in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Did they try and make you do disco?
I am so glad that you had your dad, because it was very scary out there around that time. I was an emancipated minor, and I'm just loving your story. It's bringing me great joy. Yeah.
No, I don't know how much I understood at the time, but certainly soon enough, in retrospect, I was really happy that I had the grounding that I had prior to that moment, and then during the real upheaval of that first year, because I had friends that I'd gone to school with who were also becoming very successful in their own rights, people like Sean Cassidy and Carrie Fisher and, different people like that. And I just felt like I came home to a real stable household. And it gave me, the ability to understand what was happening without it really turning my head. I mean, I'd come home and my mom would go, "You haven't cleaned the cat box in 3 days." I mean, seriously.
And that's good.
As Pete, she took some flack because Rolling Stone, I won't say exactly the way they were kidding her, but they were making fun of her as a too good to be true singer. There was nothing, nothing they would exploit about her. No boyfriends they knew about, no live-ins, no flare-ups and affairs. She's living at home with mama and daddy, and she doesn't have her own apartment. And they were asking her, even Ladies Home Journal, asking her very important questions about her private life. And this sweetheart here stood up to them and said, "Yes, what you're reading is true. You got a problem?"
Oh, I love that.
I'm a good kid. Sue me.
Our family, we fought that same image thing. They look at us and there's these assumptions everybody makes, and are we a flash in the pan? We're bubble gum and we're not real. And we know about that. It's okay. You do work through it and you just try and prove people, wrong, or they don't know what they're thinking. They don't know me.
It doesn't matter if your heart's in it and it's what you want to do and who you are. You just keep moving. That's what we've always done. We do it. So we do it to hang out with each other. It's how we hang out. When you're a family band, you guys know this. It's not like you can't have Thanksgiving, but it's Thanksgiving and a gig are the same darn thing.
Yeah.
You're with your people. You're laughing.
Our shows are family reunions. We have our sons in our band now that replaced a couple of our brothers.
My husband's our drummer. It's
still
awesome.
A family band, and it's just so fun. Yeah, just so fun. So
you guys, we have to watch the time here. Sorry, I hate to be that gal.
I'm sure we'll be okay. Pat, can we ask you one thing? We heard you were a direct descendant of Fess Parker, who to us was Daniel Boone.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm serious. Fess Parker. I knew about Fess Parker before Daniel. You know what I mean?
That was funny,
was
Bob.
a mean man.
Hey, listen, how many Christmases you guys did we wake up to the coon skin hat and the whole Daniel Boone outfit and Davy Crockett and
Okay, so we digress. Are you a Boone?
But, I had a sort of a gripe, not with Fess, because he played Daniel Boone after he played
Davy Crockett.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, wait a minute. I am descended from Daniel Boone. Why can't I play Daniel Boone?" He'd already made a hit with Davy Crockett. So
you would have been great. You were beautiful with the hat, the eyes. It would have worked.
Oh, the hat and the eyes. Listen to her.
I even walked around a stage outside Philadelphia and singing when it was a hit, a coonskin cap with a plastic rifle. Davy Crockett.
King of the wild frontier. Born in a mountaintop of Tennessee. We know it all. It's so exciting to talk to you.
Boone was the dad. What was it? Something else.
Can I touch real briefly? Debbie, I wanted to ask you about do we have time for me to ask her about her children's books or no?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Debbie, I have a couple of stories that I've had sitting around for 40 years. You are an accomplished children's book writer. Your kids got you started, right?
Well,
Or how did you decide you wanted to write these stories? How did you become that lady?
I was actually pressured into it. I never had any aspiration to do it. I kept being on the cover of Good Housekeeping, having kids. Every time I had a kid, they put me on the cover of Good Housekeeping.
Oh my gosh.
So publishing companies kept coming to me going, you're like America's,
Sweetheart.
yeah, and mom, so we'd love for you to. And I was like, I've never done such a thing. Why would I start now just because of that?
I love it.
Wow.
And then a company came to me knowing that my husband was an artist and made the suggestion that I write a children's book and he be the illustrator. And then it became something like, if you're willing to put money down on that idea, I'm certainly willing to give it a stab. I knew he could do it. I just wasn't sure I could do it.
Okay.
But we ended up having it was so much fun and success. And I still am so proud of all the children's books that we put out together. So
what they tapped in you, that's amazing.
Well, then I won't ask you how you went from the bottom to the top. I'll figure it out myself. Never mind. Moving right along. Polly, what we've lost Mr. Boone.
That's okay.
I bet he's going to get a coonskin hat.
Oh, maybe that would be funny. And I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't either. He's amazing.
Do you still sing with your sisters? Are you still, is there any shot at that? Or
Rare. It's so rare, and yet we still love it so much. We get together for 1 week every summer because we don't all live in California now. We have one in Colorado and one in Washington State.
Okay.
And for a while there, when our kids were a little bit older, not little kids, we started singing every summer at a spa in Mexico called Rancho La Puerta, and we were the entertainment at the nighttime for a free week at the spa.
I was going to say that's a genius gig.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was, and so every summer we'd meet there for a week and sing for our supper, basically,
right.
it kept us singing together and enjoying being able to do it. And we haven't done that in a while, and we're getting ready to have a week together in a couple of weeks. But was that Michael Lloyd? I bet
that was Michael Lloyd.
I think
The Michael Lloyd.
the one and only.
No way.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Michael Lloyd.
Well, just hi to Michael Lloyd. That's amazing.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
Just hanging out with Pat Boone.
All right. We did no. Back to Deb now. So let me. I have a question. What, Debbie? What do you got? You want to finish?
Just we're getting together, but the last time we sang together, we actually sang at my mom's memorial.
Oh, that had to be hard.
She loved us singing more than anything. That was her happy place. And we just pulled ourselves together to be able to do it. And that was the last time that the four girls have sung together.
And when the four girls are singing, is somebody grabbing a guitar and strumming that thing with you? Or how you?
No, sadly, Cherry sort of plays piano and maybe a little bit of guitar. I'm a complete doofus that never learned to play an instrument. So it's always tracks of some kind or someone playing for us. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. Do you guys ever consider the concept of like a one last time around big family hurrah? Musically.
Yeah, it would be so hard. Because, each of my daughters, I've just tried to add up my number of great-grandkids. And
We're losing your sound, Daddy. Can you turn up?
Wow, can you hear me now?
That's better. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Top of it it's difficult because I now have, I think, about to have number 13 great-grandkids. And the grandkids and, the families have expanded so. And one's in Seattle, Cherry, and Lindy's in Orange County. Debbie's out here, and then Laurie's in Colorado. So to get us together would be really quite an undertaking, and it would actually, it would just be God bringing us together in a way that we realized is something we need to interrupt everything else we're doing and do it. Michael is here. I wanted to just finish my part of this with the end of that story when Debbie and the four girls sang at Shirley's memorial.
Yes.
She had passed about 6 or 7 days before. Shirley had gone to be with the Lord in heaven, and but she taught the girls to sing and would have stopped anything to hear them sing. So we're in the den where I am now with a bunch of family. The 4 girls went off upstairs to sing, to practice, "Make Me an Instrument of Your Peace," to sing the next day in the memorial. All of a sudden, there was a clamor at the front, in the front hall, where they'd gone upstairs, and some excitement. We went in to see what was wrong and what had happened. They said, "Daddy, this chairlift, this acorn chairlift sitting at the bottom of the stairs, we were singing, but we heard this click and a whir, and this chair just came up the stairs and stopped at the top. Mechanically, it cannot happen, guys."
No, we're understanding. We are so
We
into that.
believe. We get it.
Yes.
Don't have to sell this group.
Shirley was there to hear them, and of course, you say, "Well, she's in the spirit. She doesn't need the chairlift." She wanted us to know.
Right.
She doesn't
Yes.
need to, but she could do it, darn it, and she's gonna.
Debbie,
Be any explanation for that, except that. So, sure, Debbie and the girls, they have a heavenly.
Action.
That's an amazing story. Thank you so
But
much
how-
for sharing
Debbie,
that.
how do you hold it together in the performance of the song at the without bawling your eyes? How do you?
You don't really.
You don't know.
I mean, there were a couple of times where I just felt, your throat just.
You can't think the
tightened up.
wrong thing. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But I also knew that everybody would forgive us for that. We were just,
Absolutely.
and they did. But we knew that she loved the message of that song and loved the harmonies. We had a beautiful arrangement done for us of it, and
So awesome.
yeah,
Pat,
yeah.
when you and Shirley get married, you're 19-year-olds. You're going to be a teacher, from what I read. You're not going to be a rock and roll pop singer, right? But did you think that?
That is such a story that I've got a meeting with Michael Lloyd, your friend, and
He's got to go. He's got to go.
Listen, we have part 2s with special people. So
I'm
we
saying,
can always come back.
I guarantee between Debbie and me and you guys, we could take up another hour.
It's true.
Good.
Well, then listen, I want to say one thing before we say goodbye. I didn't realize till you guys popped on here. I mean, I realized it, but my heart got connected to you because you are amazingly beautiful people who have had like this giant life of love that manifests through music and all the crazy stuff that we all ended up in somehow. Yeah. And it has been beyond an honor to experience this with you guys. Just really like more than I bargained for. So thank you. I just want to thank that.
Pat, you and Keith Richards. You and Keith Richards are my.
We have an idea, Pat.
Oh, no, I'm 71.
Confused. They never can tell which is which.
Hey, we haven't even gotten into what you did with Alice Cooper, but we don't need to get everything.
Let's let these people go. We have too many great ideas for them. Paul.
Let's do stuff. Let's say we'll do this again.
Please.
Thank you.
We'll do it again. I promise. If you want.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. We love your family.
And
I can't
Debbie,
believe
she'll
you're
come along
connected.
with you.
And listen, we have this Happy Together tour that we're on every year. And next summer, we usually come through Los Angeles. I would love to see you guys. I'd just love to give you a hug.
That'd be great.
We'll host you at Denny's.
You say hi to that Michael Lloyd, that young man Michael Lloyd for us, please. Super cute Michael Lloyd. In the teen mags.
He knows you guys very well.
I remember.
We've never met. We've never met.
No, but he was in the
Michael.
teen mags. They put him and Mike in the mags at the very end. I remember it.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago,
All right.
I was down.
We'll be here all day.
saying
Irish
something.
Catholic will never say goodbye. Goodbye.
Susan,
What?
he's saying something. Hold on.
What'd you say, Michael?
2 weeks ago, I was down at Petco Park with a brother Cowsill and the Beach Boys.
Hey, Johnny! We love our Johnny.
He's our drummer boy.
Yeah.
Whenever they're around, I get on stage and sing Beach Boys songs. Me and Mark McGrath and Stamos. It's a crazy time.
How cool
Oh,
is
no,
that?
we know about that fun. That's awesome,
Fun.
Michael. It's very
It's
nice
fun,
meeting
fun,
you, by
fun.
the way. Quite a history there.
It's good
Yeah.
to meet you.
All right, Boones.
By the
Big
way-
day on Cowsill Podcast. All right, y'all. Take care. Much love.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, Mr. Boone.
We'll do it again.
Yes, sir. Love you guys.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah, he's gone. There they go. Hey, folks, that's
Stay.
great. Wasn't that fun, you guys?
Holy cow, they
Tell me
moved
about
my
it.
heart.
That was incredible.
Those are some precious people.
Yeah. I mean, they
Yeah.
have.
We need the eyeball.
Wow. Yeah, we need an eyeball.
Oh, yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
That was super fun. And she just sitting there loving us, talking to her dad. She doesn't need to be talked to. She is laughing, looking at him, holding her heart, loving him going on. It was precious.
It was great.
Yeah.
Now, let's see.
We'll get them back. They've offered to come back. We're going to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
It's
Those guys were
incredible.
unbelievable.
Well, listen, they lit up our podcast. I'll tell you that.
They lit up our lives.
Yeah.
They
All
were
right, people.
precious.
Good.
Look for us out on the road.
Yeah.
Okay. We're heading back out. Look for our shows.
But we'll be back here before that happens.
And
right?
we're going to lure the Boones out of retirement.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
my
Have 'em open for us.
my moo caster should be here for next Thursday, guys. I'll
like
be
it.
able to really tilt that baby.
Next
Should have
Thursday.
gotten you guys one too.
Well, no.
Well, whatever.
right, well,
the new
let's say
ones come
goodbye.
out every Wednesday, so we'll see
Oh
what,
yeah, I meant
what
Wednesday.
happens.
Yeah, I'd like to time travel.
I love it.
Anyway, super
All right,
fun.
that was super fun. But
Yeah.
people, we were nervous. This is like,
Yeah, we were a little bit, but then they were so precious. Go, Paul.
They were great. They were great. I love them.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We love
See
you
you
to
next
pieces.
week.
Bye.
Yep. See you later, casters.